everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna see all the basics of Autodesk Sketchbook Mobile version. I have also done a tutorial like this in tablet version, which I'll leave the link down in the description. You can check that out. And for this, you'll need a mobile. It may be either an Android or iOS, it doesn't matter. It'll work on both, and this app is absolutely free. And you can find that in the Play Store or App Store. In case you couldn't find, I'll also leave the link to download in the description. You can check that out too. And that's how the app will look like. Once you open it for the first time, you will get a quick tour from the app itself, which will show you very few basic things. You can check that out. And then there will be a canvas which will be empty and mostly the screen size one. You can pinch to zoom in and zoom out. And on top of the screen you will find a menu bar which will have all the menus included inside, which we will see all together in detail now. The first menu on top of the screen will open 4 different small menus which will have New Sketch, Gallery, Share and Preferences. The New Sketch will help you to set the width and height of the canvas. You can link or unlink the values also. There will be also presets which will have default canvas sizes from which you can select. When you unlink the height and width, you can set the values differently on your own choice. It won't affect anything when it's unlinked. When it's linked, you won't be able to set the value for height and width on your own. It will always be linked and it will show what will be the preferred height and width on its own. It won't let you to set different values when it's linked actually. Now once you set the width and height, you can press on the create. It will create a new canvas. I'm going to discard the current sketch since it's empty. As soon as you create a new canvas, you will see the double tap shortcuts which will be visible for a few minutes. They are undo, clear screen, redo and fit canvas. You can use them as a shortcut and it will just go away in some time. We can also edit those shortcut settings going into the preferences here. When you open, it will have all the shortcut settings. You can just check and uncheck those. Now there's a double tap corner shortcuts. It's now in enable mode and there are 4 different things which I want to do when I trigger the double tap on all the corners. You can tap on those and change the settings also. It will have different menus. You can choose from them. Similarly, there is also a 3-finger swipe menu. It will help you to access these 4 things when you swipe up, down or left and right. Now there is a factory defaults which will reset all the color swatches, brushes settings and all the preferences settings in case you want to go back to the previous way how it was. Here you can tap and change the menu as you like. You can change the undo, redo options to something else. Just by tapping on it, it will open different menus inside. It works for both of this, like double tap on the corners and also for the 3-finger swipe menu. Just like I said, you can just pinch in to zoom in and zoom out. Also you can rotate the canvas while you're drawing. Since it's mobile version, it will be so much helpful when you're drawing. Now you'll find a semi-transparent pop-up button down here. If you tap on it, you'll open a series of small shortcuts. Previous brush, transparent color, color picker, previous color, clipped canvas. And this here will adjust the brush opacity and thickness. This is for colors. You can adjust the saturation and luminance. As you open this shortcut, you will be able to see the corner shortcuts also. They might not be visible, but they'll still work when you double tap on the corners. You can just work around with all the menus, try different things, and tap and drag to modify your brush or the color. It works for both of it on the double puck. Here I'm changing the luminance just by dragging it up and down. Similarly, when you tap on it, you can open the color wheel. Also, when you tap on the brush, you will be able to open the brushes library. Also, don't forget, if you are new here, please subscribe to my channel. Let's check into the tools right now. Just tap on the tool to open the menu, inside which you will find a lot of tools: selection, transform, fill, guides, symmetry, draw styles, perspective guide, time lapse. This will help you to record the screen, text, predictive stroke, and import image. Let's now look into the brushes. Tap on it to open the library. You'll find a lot of different brushes in there under different headings, which will be easy for you to choose. There will be a preview of what the brush will do over there whenever you select a brush. And when you go into the settings of the brush, you can adjust the size and opacity of the brush there. That also will show the preview there. So just by using the slider, you can adjust the size and opacity. There's also brush types, where you can change each brush into even an eraser. And there are multiple modes which you can just try around and find out what they do. There are so many options for you. And when you go into advanced setting, there's a setting for pressure, stamp, nib, and randomness. But we don't have to bother much about them. I always use just the basic of it. Just the size and opacity is more than enough. Whereas in the library, you will find some other brushes like the tattoo inker, for example. It will have different settings inside it instead of just the size and opacity, as you can see. So depending on the type of the brush, the settings of them also varies. If you don't like the changes you did, you can just reset it to the way it was. Just by one tap on the reset will do the trick. Let's just try and use a brush to draw something or write something. I'm just using a paintbrush. I'm just gonna write the word hi. Now let's try the double tap option. I'm just double tapping on the left side bottom corner to do undo, and the right corner to do redo. Yes, it did work. You just need to double tap, and that double tap should clear the screen. Yes, it did. And in case your canvas is zoomed in or zoomed out like this, you can tap here just to fit it to the frame. That's it, all the shortcuts are covered. You can change the settings in the preferences. Let's check out the colors, shall we? Now when you tap on that, it will open the color wheel. So inside is for changing the saturation of the color, like how dark it is or how light it is. And the outside is for selecting the hue, like what color you primarily want, you can use that to select. This will show the present color which is selected, and that will be the previous color chosen. This is a color picker. It will help you to pick the color from the screen, which I'll show a little demo right now. I'm just drawing different color lines. Now we have different colored lines over here. Let's see how the color picker works. Just tap on it and you can just move it around on the desired color you want to pick. Now it had picked the blue color, as you can see. So you can also use one more way to do that. can just touch and hold on the screen and it will activate the color picker, which obviously you can deactivate or activate using the preferences settings. So there we have picked the yellow color just by tapping and holding. You can also adjust the RGB values using the slider here. And we also have our own color palette where you can save a color in case you want to reuse it again. You have to just drag and drop the color which you have made. As simple as that. So you can just create a color, and in case you're planning to use it again and again, you can just drag and drop it on the palette and you can reuse it. And this just shuffles the colors around. It's also a technique to pick the color. And there's also more colors, Copic. Inside it you will find some pastel colors, and it will have illustration and design, two different options. The designs will have few shades, but in the illustration you will find much more shades for each color. So you can just give it a try too. Now let's see the layers in detail. This is the layers toolbar, and each layer, when you tap on it, will open this set of menus inside. Let's try copy now. When you tap on the layers copy, it will copy whatever is available on the layer, and you have to tap on the plus to create a new layer, and just tap on the new layer and click on the paste option. So tap on it to paste it, and you can move it around, change the size. So now we have two of it. So when you want to clear the layer without using the eraser, you can just tap on the clear layer in the layer menu. There, the layer 2 is clear now. I'm gonna again paste it, and now we can just drag and drop it here and there. I'm just gonna keep the smiley there. So you've got the smile on the second layer. So I'm going to duplicate it now. The duplicate option is more similar to the copy and paste. There's also HSL adjustment and color balance separate for each layer. Now let's see the color balance. I'm just gonna draw a few lines on the third layer I created, and I'm just gonna tap on the layer menu and go into color balance, where the mid-tones I'm gonna change. Just use a slider to change the colors shade. It'll be more clear if you try it yourself when you are trying on different colors. So in case you wanna adjust after drawing everything, you can use this option. It will be very much easy. And in case you didn't like it, you can always press the reset. And in case you don't need a layer, you can just use the delete to delete the layer. So now we have one layer. I'm going to create one more layer. And there's also blending modes for each layer. You can change the blending mode of it. There are so many options to choose from inside this too. Okay, let's see the tools in detail now. First one is selection. So for showing the selection, I'm just gonna draw something and use the selection tool. And there's different types inside. I'm just gonna use the lasso tool. You can select any part of the drawing you like. And after selecting, you need to go to the tools again and use transform. This helps you to move the object on the layer. You can move it up and down, or in case you want to toggle it or nudge it like pixel by pixel, you can use this menu. It will help you to move it along or even pixel by pixel just by the nudge. So next you can also flip it horizontally or vertically using the flip option. There's also rotate option where you can do the counterclockwise or the clockwise. So this one here will distort the entire selection. Like you can just change the shape, drag it here and there, it will entirely distort the whole selection. So once you're done with all the changes, you just need to just give the tick so that it just saved. I just did undo so that it goes back to the way it was. Now we're gonna see the fill option, where you can fill the colors into the closed shapes. In case it's not closed well, it will go out, so keep that in mind. And this here is the tolerance, which will help you to fill the color to its fullest. When it's very low, it won't fill it properly, and it will show the line like this here. So according to the tolerance, it will fill it up fully or a little lesser. Depending on the outline, you can change the tolerance level and fill the colors. We also have options to fill the color with the different gradient. Like the gradients, you can change the colors like this. The linear fill is also there, and there's also radial fill, which will have the center illuminating. You can change those colors by tapping on those circles in the center. So there are 3 ways you can color, and this will just toggle the circles, like the dark color inside and the lighter shade outside. And this option right here will sample all the layers, and sample one layer will help you to take the coloring to the next level, where when you have it in the one layer, it will only fill the layer alone. So in case if you have it in sample all layers, you can go to the layers and you can create one more layer, and you can color this shape in the other layer. So now the coloring will be in a different layer and the outline will be in another layer. So now I have hidden the outline just by tapping on that eye icon on the layer. It will just hide and unhide the layer. Now you can see the outline and the color fill is in different layers. Now let's see, in case if I am not sampling all the layers and it's in one layer, what will happen. So I am going to the other layer and trying to fill, and it bleeds the color all over the canvas. So in case you want to color the object in other layer, you always don't forget to sample all layers, and then you can fill color like this. You can also fill color outside the outline also. So you have to just tap on the outside, it will fill the color outside. So that's all about it. Let's move on to the next tool, guides. The guides will have different types of rulers. When you tap on them, you will find a small 2-3 lines description about what the tool does down here. You can check into it. These tools work just like a ruler, what you use just to draw straight lines or curvy lines. So you can use this to trace the line along the ruler. You can adjust the size by using 2 fingers and pinching it up and down. So when you use the ruler, you can just draw lines only along the sides of the ruler, not anywhere else. So in case if I try to just scribble on the sides like this, so when I try this side, it just draws the lines along the ruler side, yeah, just like that. So you won't be able to draw anywhere else except for the ruler sides. Let me just reduce the size of my brush, and let's try the next tool, Symmetry tool. This will help you to split the canvas into different portions, and there are different types of splitting available. Let's see what the first one does. So the first one will split the screen into 2 equal halves, and whatever you draw on the one side will be replicated on the other side as well. So when I put the Symmetry X2, now it's been split into 4 different sides. So whatever I draw on one side, it will be on all the 4 sides. There's also the radial split, which will help you to draw mandala art so easy. So there's also a slider to adjust the number of sections. So when you slide, it will increase and decrease the number of sections like this. And this right here will stop the strokes at center line or extend the strokes at center line. Now it extends the stroke. I can just draw across the lines. Now when I make it into stop the strokes, it won't come after this line. So it will just stop the stroke within the lines. So you can do these two things using that. You can either stop the stroke or extend the stroke according to your liking, according to the drawing what you're doing. So when I extend again, it just comes off the lines like this. You can draw past the lines. You can move the symmetry lines here and there using the center, and when you move the rotate option there, it will rotate the sections. And you can also lock the symmetry lines where you can just drag and drop the canvas however you like, and it won't move the sections. You won't be able to find the center point, and when you unlock the symmetry lines, you will be able to move them again. So that's about it. So let's move on to the next tool. The next tool is the draw styles, which will help you to draw different shapes, line, circle and square. So let me create another layer. I'm just gonna hide that layer. So first let me draw the line. It'll be easy for you to draw straight lines when you select that option. Whatever brush you choose, the same brush will be drawing the lines. Same goes for all the shapes. Whatever brush you are choosing, that will draw the shape. So next rectangle, you can draw square, rectangle using this. So that's about it. You can draw shapes using this. Let's move on to the next tool, which is predictive stroke. This will help you to write more clearly. For me, I feel more than drawing, you can use this while writing, which will adjust the strokes little perfect when you do it irregularly. So sometimes the curvy lines might become straight using this when you keep the level high. So here, if you can see, I'm just writing high, so it gives me clear shapes to write the letters. So I usually use it to write something. In case if you have a bad handwriting, you can always try this. It will help you to write way better than how you would write usually. So it will just predict the strokes and it will create a clear text. So let me write without the predictive stroke here. This time randomly writing. So if you have seen the difference, like with the predictive stroke, it looked very nice and neat. Let me just move this to the side using the transform tool. I don't want it to be in the way. I don't want to erase it too. I like it. So this one here, import image, will help you to import any image from the gallery. In case you want to use it as a reference or you want to insert any other picture inside, you can use it. So you can do all the transformation things with the same as that of the selection to the image also. Then the next tool is perspective guides. It's more of a little high level helpful tool. It should be very much useful for any architects, I guess. I don't normally use it, but in case if I'm drawing any other buildings or something, or if I want to show any perspective view in my art, I'll try to use this. We can always adjust the guidelines, density and opacity, and there are different options, different types of grids, so you can change it. You can hide and unhide it. When you use the snap at the vanishing point, you can just draw anywhere as you like. If you take it off, you can only draw along the lines. So just like that, you can just play around with different tools and you will get to know them better. You can also lock the guides. You can hide the perspective guides. It won't be visible, but it will still work as a guide. So that's about it. Let me clear the layer. And let's go check the text option here. The text will help you to insert text. Obviously, you can type in any text which you want to insert into the picture in case you don't want to write. You can change the font. Very few fonts will be there. I don't think many different fonts will be there, but you can choose different fonts inside. And also the color, you can change the color of the font, and you can also distort it, like you can extend or drag it and increase the shape and size, and you can also flip them or nudge them. So you can just do some little adjustments to the font. And this one here is the screen recorder, as I told earlier. You can use this to save the screen recording of whatever you're drawing. I use this to post my videos before. Whatever I draw, I just record the screen. You'll get a beautiful time-lapse video. Let me go through the brushes one more time. I kind of want to go over some things. So you can choose any of the brush on the library. When you tap on them, it will show how it will be on the canvas over the top with the name of the brush and also their texture, how it will be. So you can tap on them and also go into the settings, and you can adjust the size and opacity. When you adjust the size also, you will be able to see the little sample on top of it. So tap on any of the brushes, or like Tattoo Inker has more settings than other brushes. So similarly, different brushes will have different settings. For smudge pen, there's flow and strength. So for the speckle brush, it has size and opacity. So for a watercolor brush, there's wetness. So Tattoo Inker has many other brushes. So similarly, all the brush will have different settings inside. So when you go into the advanced, there's also brusher, stamp, nib and randomness values. So here you can change the settings of the brusher, space, stamp and nib, like in case if you want to try it out. I don't usually do that. I'll just go with the basic settings, default settings of the advanced side. I just change the basics all the time. This is more than enough, and the brush types has so many different options. I use the eraser to change the brush into an eraser also. You can do that to any of the brush, and there are different options which you would get a better idea if you try it yourself. You can just use any brush and try the different types and see how it works. And let's go over the colors one time. It has the HSL here and RGB and the palette and the shuffle over here. So you can use these things to change the colors. Now let's see the layers one more time. And here I have two layers now, and below that there is the background layer where you can tap on it to change the color of the background, and you can also use that eye icon on the background layer to hide the background, and it will give you a transparent background. So you can delete or merge the layers, and you can use a color label to label the layers. It's similar to giving a name to the layer but color coded here. We can hide and unhide the layer using the little eye icon on the layer just by tapping over them. You can hide and unhide like this. And when I create a layer on top and draw a heart, it comes obviously above the words which is on the next layer. So in case you want to bring it back, you can just drag and drop the layer, move it up and down. Whatever is on the up will be visible first, so you can do that. You can also merge it just by tapping merge on the layer menu. So now both of it has come to one layer. I'm just gonna undo it. So now it's become 2 layers again. And there's other features inside where you can tap and you can reduce the opacity of the layer. You can use the slider to increase and decrease the strength of the opacity. So let's keep it in 100. And you can also change the blend mode of the layer into different settings, which will change the layer's object according to it. You just have to play around with it to find out what each does and what will work out better, what will work for you in your artwork. So this here will merge all the layers into one layer. You might want to do it when you are done with all the changes and you are gonna just save the image. And this here will do the HSL adjustment. You can change the luminance. You can change the saturation. Also you can change the hue of the layer. It will take control over all the objects on the layer. So you can adjust the hue like this. So let's keep it where it was. You can also reset it in case you don't like the changes you did. And the color balance, let me show the color balance one more time. So now this will be much more clear. So this color, as you can see, it just changes the shade of the color. You can reset. It will have shadows, highlights and midtones. You can select whatever option you want and you can change the shades. And there's one last thing on the layer which we haven't seen. It's the lock layer. When you lock the layer, it won't let you to do anything to the layer. When you try to draw something on the layer, the pop-up message will come like this. Current layer is locked, so you won't be able to do anything. Whereas there is also transparency lock on the layer, where you can see down here. When it is locked, you can just tap on it to lock it. When it's locked, you won't be able to draw anywhere outside the object available, but only on the inside. So when there is an object present in one layer and you want to draw only on that, you might want to lock the transparency and you can just draw as you like. It won't let you to draw anywhere outside. So in case again you lock the layer, you won't be able to draw anything. It just pops up the menu again. And when you do the unlock transparency, you can draw anywhere outside the object also. So once you lock the transparency, you won't be able to draw anything around here. So I think that's about the layers menu. I have covered all the layers menus, and this last one there will help you to hide and unhide the toolbar. So the layers, different layers are there. Everything I think I covered, the colors and the brushes and the tools. I have covered everything. In case you have any doubts, you can leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to help. Let's do some brushes sample. Like, let me show you a few of the brushes, the dot pattern, and there's also this feathery thing which you can use it for grasses. It all works so well. And some splatter, it'll be like some paint splatters. Please do subscribe and support my channel. I post different videos every weekend. And in case you liked what you watched till now, please like this video. Also do share this video with your friends. And now I'm gonna merge this 3 layers into single layer. I'm gonna show merge, like I have made all 3 into single layer again. Now I'm gonna use the transform to move the objects on the layer. So thank you so much for watching till now, and I'm also on Instagram under the handle Rosalind's Delight. You can find me there. You can message me any doubts you have. I'll be happy to help. So see you in my next video. Bye bye.